Are you familiar with the sophomore slump in franchising? Well, we've all heard about it in music. Take a couple examples. U2 in their first album was a huge commercial success. They had been singing that music for years and perfecting it. And then while they were on that tour for that first album, the record company rushed them into the studios to make another commercial success. They didn't take as long. They didn't spend the same time on it. They didn't have the same heart and passion in it. And it flopped. Now let's flip that scenario around. Nirvana. Nirvana in their first album, Kurt Cobain couldn't play the guitar live. So the band sucked. And the first drummer or two were okay, but they weren't what they needed. And so by the time the second album came around, Kurt's songwriting got better. He learned how to play the guitar a little better. They still had to bring in Pat Smear to play the guitar live so that Kurt could sing and pretend to play guitar every now and then. And then most importantly, Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl gave them percussion, gave them consistency, gave them a beat to march to and to play to. Their second album, Nevermind, one of the greatest albums of all time. So if we look at franchising, what happens in franchising? Somebody who's scared as hell, looking at franchises, decides on one, and they move forward. And I say scared as hell because most people are scared when they sign their first franchise agreement. I was, and I was in the business. So they sign their first franchise agreement. Hopefully it's a stellar franchisor with a great system, a great business, and high demand, amazing systems, training, support, everything. And that franchisee hits a home run. And everybody tells them how brilliant they are because they executed the system. And that's good. I'm not downplaying what they did in any way, shape, or form. It takes a lot of work to execute even a proven system. It's not handed to you. So they execute that system, they do well, maybe they start to scale, but at some point it's time to grow, and that may mean a second brand. Because maybe they've run out of territory, maybe they've grown as far geographically as they want to. So they go out into the market and they believe the press, their friends, family, and neighbors tell them about how brilliant they are. When in truth, most of their success probably came down to the brand and the systems and the training and the support and the other franchisees around them. And then they added their little bit of magic to it and did a lot of hard work and had success. But now the second one comes along, and if they believe their press, they think they can take anything and make it work. And then they start thinking that I need to find the next cutting edge thing. They fear missing out. They want to be in on the next big trend. They want to get in before everybody else, which isn't bad. They want to get in before everybody else and have an even more massive success. So just like U2, they rush it and they don't make good decisions and they don't pick the best franchise partner. They don't have the best training or the support, or they pick something that's a fad. They fall prey, if you will, to what happens to folks when they look at social media and say, wow, that's really cool. I should go do that. Maybe, but maybe you should also do something that is recession resistant, that's always in demand, that always has customers, that's had customers for hundreds of years in the past and will have customers for hundreds of years in the future. Maybe that's not a bad idea either. So in that rush, not the band, in that rush, they miss the things that made them successful the first time. But if in trade, what they do is they take their time, they get the numbers together, they put a plan together, they make sure that the businesses fit together like puzzle pieces, are good together in that system, then maybe their second business is even bigger than the first. And now they have a personal system for how to grow and scale. And from there, their third business, their fourth business, their fifth business, and so forth. So when you're growing your franchise, don't fall victim to the sophomore slump. Put together a plan for growth that's going to take you to the moon. And when you want to know how to do that, you give me a call. My name is George Knopf. I've been doing this for a while. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.